Kadeer, this summer represents the 20th season of T20 cricket in England. You played in that first tournament. What was the attitude of it from the players?
To be honest, I still remember the first meeting we had about it at Edgbaston PCA sort of introduced the tournament, and there was a bit of a mixed reaction from the players. The younger lads quite excited about it, the senior lads not quite sure about it. And definitely for the first 2 years, it was very relaxed, wasn't taken seriously at all. It was just a bit of fun. No planning went into games. Batting orders were all over the place. Pinch hitters were used. To be honest, nobody knew what was going on, and it was just a bit of fun.
How seriously was it initially taken by the squad, and what was your approach when you went out to bat?
It wasn't taken that seriously at all. Like I said earlier, there was no meetings about opposition like there is now in terms of ground, opposition players, strengths, weaknesses. You were straight in. We tried loads of different things. We thought the power play was massive, so if you won the power play, you generally would win the game. There was a lot of thought around the spinners would get hit, but actually they did really well. They bowled well. They were the leading wicket takers in the first 2 or 3 years of the tournament, and even today you see now they're a key part in T20 cricket. So yeah, I think people just weren't quite sure how to go about it, but it was it was played in good spirit, and people just went out and tried to express themselves.
You see them all over the world now, these incredible shots, but back then they must have been a million miles away.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I mentioned, the power play was the one where people really tried to target, so they would send in pinch hitters, and I remember at Worcester, I think we sent in Gareth Batty, Matt Mason, I think my cousin Kadeer, he went in a couple of times pretty early as well to really try and make the maximum of the first 6 overs and the 2 men out. And then it's obviously evolved hugely, and as a field, I remember if you were at 45, it was quite quiet. I mean, you could still get away with not being that busy, but as you see today, 45 fine leg are very busy positions now, so the game is massively evolved.
Yeah, you've got all around the world, you've got the IPL, Pakistan Super League. Did you ever imagine the blast here in the UK would become as big as it is now?
To be honest with you, with the crowds that we got straight away, I always in the back of my head thought this could get big, and I think when it really took off is I think it was in 2007 in the World Cup, where India won the World Cup, and as soon as India sort of had their own league, as in the IPL you see today is absolutely massive, and that really generated obviously huge money, and the interest levels have gone through the roof. And yeah, the back of my head I always thought it's gonna really take off. Just from the early crowds, there was a different type of crowd that came through the gates.
We've seen some brilliant players here at New Road over the years.
Yeah.
Who were the first, from your memory, that were the first to adapt to the format?
Something like Graham Hick, who obviously was a fantastic player. I mean, he still showed some great skills in T20 cricket, and he was obviously a top player and strong down the ground, and he hit spin well. So in my early days, it was something like Graham Hick, Vikram Solanki, the 2 guys that really stand out for me, who took on T20 cricket very well.
When did the players start to realise that this was going to be a competition that was here to stay and it wasn't just a gimmick?
To be honest, I think from very early days, especially the younger lads, I think they really took to it, and with the whole atmosphere at the grounds, it was so different to obviously a 4-day game, even 50 over. It's a totally different crowd, a younger crowd, a noisier crowd, and obviously the success they had in the early years is always going to grow and grow, and obviously now with the 100 as well, it's got even stronger, and it's only going to get stronger and stronger. So I think everybody is quite excited about it.
We've seen some incredible knocks from here at New Road and around the country. Is there any that stand out to you in particular that are memorable for you?
Yeah, I think I saw one. I know it's from Moeen a couple of years ago against Sussex, when he got that big 100, where he was dropped, I think, earlier on by the Australian keeper Carey. The way he played in that game, I remember we were sitting in a restaurant watching it on TV, and it was outstanding. And I think that knock, it was amazing, because obviously with Worcester not being into the finals days for a few years, I don't think they got to the finals day up until that moment. So in terms of the bigger picture, it was a great knock, and he played superbly well. And
yourself, back in the first year of the blast, you got a 50 against Warwickshire. It must be nice to get one against your rivals. Yeah, and obviously, look, we're all from the Ali family's from Birmingham, so as a young kid growing up playing for the Warwickshire age groups, and then
getting my I think it was my only 50 I think in T20 cricket was against Warwickshire, and it was here, so it was a big moment for me and the family.
Yeah, one area in particular that has improved massively because of T20 is fielding.
Yeah.
How much emphasis is put on that here at New Road?
Huge. You know, we spent a lot of time on our fielding, and that was something that when I first came to New Road, that really stood out for me. There was the fielding and just the general, like, the lads are athletes, so they move a lot quicker than guys did 20 years ago. The speed to ball, their throwing arms are a lot stronger. Yeah, it's a huge factor, and you know, it's almost like having another batter. You know, if you can save 20-30 runs, you know, it's huge for the team, and yeah, it's getting better and better. And as we see some crazy things around the world now with some guys, you know, with the catches they're taking, the stops they're doing, it's unbelievable now.
A lot of the players in the current squad were in the squad in 2018 when we won the Blast, and in 2019 when we reached the final. A lot of that squad is still involved today, and there's a lot of new young players coming through. How do you think we're capable of replicating some sort of performance like that run in 2018 and 19?
Yeah, definitely. I think over the last couple of years, if we're honest, you know, we probably haven't played our best T20 cricket, and before that, you know, we had 2 really good years. We know that as a squad, we've identified it. We've got stronger with some really good additions to the squad, and I think, you know, we're more than capable. You know, if we get someone like Moeen, we've signed obviously Matthew Wade, and you know, we've got a really young and strong squad, and hopefully guys can put in the work, and there's plenty of strength in our squad to do well again.
You mentioned Matthew Wade there. He's set to come over for hopefully all of this coming campaign. How much are you looking forward to him coming over and playing with the Rapids?
Yeah. Oh, hugely. I mean, we saw him in the T20 World Cup for Australia. You know, he had some outstanding knocks in the semi-final and in the final as well. I think he got in, but in the semi-final anyway against Pakistan. You know, absolutely amazing, and the lads were buzzing as well to see him play like that. And he's only going to strengthen our squad, and the experience he's got of playing T20 cricket around the world and with Australia, obviously. And to get into the Australian team, you know, there's got to be something to match, and obviously we know how talented he is, and we're really excited, and the lads can't wait to play with him.
It looks like we could have quite a strong top order next season with Pollock, Matthew Wade, and also Moeen. Hopefully he'll be available as well next season. How much does he enjoy captaining the Rapids?
He loves it, you know, he absolutely loves it. You know, whenever he's away, and he's always, now that I'm around a lot more at Worcester, he's always asking me how the lads are getting on, and you know, he can't wait to come back and play for us. And the last year, I know when he sort of captained the first half of the T20 campaign, he absolutely loved it. And not just him, the lads love having him around, just obviously the quality he brings into the squad. And the way he is as a person, the lads love him, and they love playing for him, and yeah, he can't wait. You know, he's always talking about Worcester, and he loves the club.